And we are live. Hello, welcome to the continuing adventures of what might be the longest buddy read on BookTube. I'm here with James from Quaint and Curious Volumes as we continue our trek through the 1001 Nights. So yes, you are on two different volumes.
Yes.
So I mean, I'll show this one, but I have now sort of departed from this. Reason being, I mean, we got to the end of the last batch of stories, sort of planned out what the next bit was, and realised that we have some major deviations going on.
Yes.
The stories did not tally at all with what you were doing. But I don't have the Penguin edition that you have, so I have transferred to an e-reader copy of the Richard Burton translation.
It's your duty as an Englishman to use that.
This has also been quite handy for two reasons. It has allowed me to actually tick off 2 bits of my Victo bingo card.
All right.
One because it's a work of fantasy, and one because it is relating to a time period that is not the Victorian period.
There you go. That's great.
I also, because I was late reading this batch of stories, read them this week, and it's been Banned Books Week, and this book was sort of banned. They knew it was going to be banned, so they printed it privately, and it was put out as, well, his translation was put out as subscription.
Yes,
because they would have done him on pornography charges, which I feel would have been a little trumped up having read this batch of stories. But this is, so we are now a third of the way through. So these stories were Nights 278 to 336.
Yes, and also in the Lyons translation, it included the story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, which I think Burton put into one of his appendices. So I'm guessing you probably didn't read that. So when we get to that part, I'll have to tell the story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves.
I didn't get to read that, but I do want to. I'm going to see if it's in. I'll read it in the Burton because I've got the whole thing, so I can find out which part of that is in. Although e-reader's not always the easiest to navigate. I'll see if it's in here as well. I'll try read both versions, and that might be a good little Christmas type special, actually. Because it's got an element of panto about it.
I suppose it does. Yeah. An element of panto is something that my fellow Americans, well, most of them will not know what that refers to. But
I'll cover panto in just a moment. Then we do have at least someone watching. We've got Greg. Gertrude is in the sky. Hello, Greg. Right, I'll explain what panto is. You can cover the Seattle Mariners.
Hey, Greg.
So pantomime is a bit of a British tradition, theatrical tradition, typically around the festive period. That festive period has expanded, in more recent years, but it is a fairly small set of stories that will be told. So Peter Pan is now pantomime, so that's probably the most recent edition. But you'll have stories like Mother Goose, or you might have Snow White. Aladdin does get in there, so that's why I think it might work a little bit for something a little bit festive. And it's got some very strange traditions. Audience participation absolutely encouraged. Men dressed as women, women dressed as men. Again, that is another link to the 1001 Nights. But it's it's aimed at kids,
Mm-hmm.
but there's usually something in there for the adults as well. You've
So
usually
is
got
it
the
something
text
that would
going.
be performed at like a community center or a church or a school?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. So you get very local pantomimes where
Mm-hmm.
the last one I went to was a local pantomime, and it has put me off a little bit.
Yeah.
There were a lot of in jokes in there,
Mm-hmm.
which I was not privy to. Lots of
Okay.
people been living in the place for a long time and knew each other, found it hilarious.
Jokes about the traffic at certain intersections and
Well, no, it was much more specific than that. It was about,
okay.
it was about people, and it's just like
Okay.
it's absolutely hilarious for those who knew
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Sure.
And then 90% of the audience there going, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But or it can go big. You get some big names go into panto
Mm-hmm.
every now and again. Usually get sort of TV people, celebrities. Sometimes there was a spate where people from Australian soap operas would always come over and do a panto season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about people who used to do like the summer entertainments, the end of the pier shows and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that during the winter months. This would be what they would go for. But you can get some big names. Ian McKellen, who's
Yeah.
famously done sort of pantomime dame duties on more than one occasion. So
Okay.
it's a proper tradition, and yeah, it will eat all other traditions.
There was a show that was on PBS, public broadcasting here in America. Probably by this point, it's probably 25 years ago, and I think it was probably made in the UK. It was called 1900 House, and it was a series where they took a family in London and had them live as if it was 1900. So everything in there, they moved into like a little row house, I guess you call it a terrace house, right? And everything was up to date as of 1900. They hired a maid. The father was, if I remember right, he was a Royal Marine who worked as a recruiting sergeant. And so he got to keep doing his job, but he wore a 1900s uniform and had to shave using an old straight razor and things like that. So everything was, and at the when it was Christmas, they did something called a dickie. I think they called it a Christmas dickie, where the family themselves would put on a little show in the living room and just like doing little performances for the rest of the family. I don't know if that's at all related to it or.
It's possibly got some, possibly some similarities there.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger families, higher class families, the upper class, the people with the wherewithal to put on, a theatre show at home, getting dressed up and stuff. They might do something like this. I think the most the rest of us in the country got was probably a game of charades. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know what part of England you live in, Gavin. Where do you live about?
I'm in Kent, so the very southeast. So I'm probably about 50 miles from London and probably about 100 miles from Paris, or maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so is that near Canterbury then?
Yes. Canterbury is about 25 minutes away.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks.
So, new Archbishop.
Yeah, exactly. A lady.
A lady.
They said it would never happen.
Your move, Vatican.
That's right. I think you're going to be waiting.
You're going to be waiting a little while.
Although, I mean, you did have technically the head of the church has been a lady before. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, but that's. Yeah, that is definitely more of a hereditary sort of, symbolic position. But it's in living memory for me that we had the first women priests ordained. So, in terms of religious speed, that has been a very quick escalation.
That's true. Yes.
These things are usually quite glacial.
Yes, exactly. Well,
they're still wearing the funny hats.
Yeah. So the Christians in some of these stories come in for a bit of abuse, as do the Kurds, and I guess we can get into it. It seems that the pace of stories has really accelerated for this section, and also for the rest of volume 2 here. There are like one story every couple of nights, so I don't think we'll be seeing too many of those long military epics for a while.
So I counted, I've sort of made a note of this, I counted 15 in this batch of stories that we've just gone through.
Yeah.
And only one of them would be what I would call a long story. That comes fairly late on. That's Ali Shah and Zumurud is the name I've got for it.
Yeah, and that's quite a story.
Yeah.
With many echoes of other stories. But, some of these are a lot of fun on their own. Such as, you probably read the story about the missing bag, right? Where
what on earth was that? That's just a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a joke I don't quite understand either. But
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's an anti-Kurdish joke, I suppose. And where a man is out in public and he gets his bag stolen, and he calls out to the people around him, fellow Muslims, I've had my bag stolen, come and help me. And the guy who's stolen his bag says, oh, this is my bag. And they get hauled in before the Qadi, the local judge. And they each talk about how they know it's their bag because of what's in it. And they go on at great length saying that this bag contains, well, I gotta pull it out.
It's a real game of one-upmanship.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It starts off, this bag of mine is well known, and its contents have been described. In it are fortresses and castles, cranes, beasts of prey, chess players and chessboards. There is a mare and 2 foals, a stallion and 2 horses, together with 2 long spears. It also has a lion, 2 hares, a city and 2 villages, a prostitute with 2 villainous pimps, a hermaphrodite, 2 good-for-nothings, 1 blind man, and 2 who can see, a lame man and 2 who are paralyzed, a priest, 2 deacons, a patriarch, and 2 monks, a Qadi, and 2 notaries, and these will bear witness that this is my bag. And that's just one of the exchanges. It also contains Iram, the city of columns, which is another story in here.
Yes. Yeah, it gets a little bit sort of metatextual. I mean, it's a great answer to give next time you're at the airport.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, if you can memorize it all, it would be quite fantastic.
What's that story called in your edition?
That is called, I think it's just named after, it's called Ali the Persian.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't remember it. I don't remember the sort of the Kurdish element being part of it, but it may well be sort of like some kind of nationalist stereotyping joke.
Yeah,
I bet they were killing themselves in 9th century Baghdad when they first got it told, but it was odd. But I think the punchline slipped me by.
Yeah, the punchline is it's kind of dumb. They just open the bag and there's just a bread, lemons, cheese, and olives. And Ali the Persian throws it in front of the Kurd, and I threw it in front of the Kurd and went off. And that's the end of the story. But I mean, this is a story that's kind of interestingly, it's a story within a story because it's a story being told to the Caliph, right? So it's not just a story that Scheherazade is telling. It's a story that Scheherazade is saying that Ali the Persian told to the Caliph when the Caliph wanted to eat. entertained. I don't know what the purpose of that framing is, but I suspect that maybe this run of stories, which many more of them involve the Caliph, perhaps they were all sort of in one chunk that got put together into the Calcutta 2 version. Just speculate.
We're absolutely spoiled for caliphs.
Yes.
And wazirs or viziers this time. So, I mean, hence I finally got to use that picture I've been waiting to use for the thumbnail. We got Jafar back.
Yes, yes, we did, but only for a time.
Yeah, but that's odd as well.
Yes,
they didn't get. I'm not sure quite how these stories are. Sort of in a time scale. But so we have Harun al-Rashid and Jafar. We also have a couple of stories with Yahya ibn Khalid or Yahya ibn Khalid, who was also a vizier to Harun al-Rashid and is Jafar's father.
Yes.
Now they're called the Barmakids or the Barmacides.
Yeah.
They're a really old family.
Yes. Yeah.
They sort of like predating Islam old family.
Yeah.
They were I think their family was like hereditary Buddhist leaders from before.
Oh wow! Okay.
Before the time Islam was in Iraq.
Okay, interesting.
We also have the Caliph al-Mamun
Yes,
in at least one of the stories, who is right. Harun al-Rashid's son.
Yes. Yeah.
So there is a lot of writing about the leaders. I mean, and they are usually very complimentary about them.
Yeah.
As you would expect. But certainly Harun al-Rashid and Jafar have this recurring theme where Harun al-Rashid, who has got anything and everything that you could possibly want, imagine, desire,
yes,
is constantly getting bored.
Right.
And it's like, well, let's dress up and go around the town.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, we're skipping ahead a few stories here from where we began, but I mean, we could look. There is a fairly long story called the Mock Caliph. So they dress up, they go out at night, and they ask to go. They ask a fisherman, "Can we have a ride in your boat up and down the river?" And the man, the guy in charge of the boat, the captain, says, "No, you're not allowed." The Caliph says, and it's like, "Well, I haven't made any rule on this." No. They come down. They've been making the announcement on pain of death.
Right.
You are not to do this. Money solves these problems, as it solves most of Harun al-Rashid's problems. I do apologize for the feral children outside if you can hear it.
It's all right.
But they find it's someone who is pretending to be the Caliph.
Yes.
And not only pretending to be the Caliph, but there's also someone there who's pretending to be Jafar and pretending to be like their I think he's a bodyguard, Mansour.
I think it's sometimes he's the executioner in
But they're going up and down the river. They go and sort of like spy on them. Then they get caught, pretend that they're new in town, so that they don't get executed. And then this pretend Caliph's court entertains them. And he ends up telling them his story. And all the way through this, I'm thinking, that's all very well. But at the end of this, if I know Harun al-Rashid, you're going to die.
Yes.
And he doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
That's enough. Right. I think it can only be because, I was bored and this was amusing.
Right.
But, it's not often that, that everyone in a story involving Harun al-Rashid survives to the end.
Not usually, no.
Because he's got, I mean, he's got a very low boredom threshold.
Yes.
And if it's going to amuse him to see you killed for 30 seconds, he'll probably do it.
Right. That's so true. Yes. Yeah.
Which may be one of the reasons that they're also terribly nice about him in the rest of these stories.
Well, I don't know. There is one that, and that was one of the first ones in this set. There's another one that comes shortly after the magic bag story, wherein Harun al-Rashid sees that Jafar has a slave girl who he finds particularly attractive.
Yes.
And he says, and they've been drinking. It's the two of them have been drinking a lot, which this is the commander of the faithful, remember. And Harun al-Rashid demands that Jafar give him the slave girl because she's so attractive. Jafar says, no, I will never do it. Harun says, if you don't, I will divorce my wife. Apparently he's probably got several, but he said, I will divorce my wife if you don't. And Jafar says, I'll divorce my wife if you do take her. And the next morning they wake up and they realize that they pledged these oaths to divorce their wives, which is serious. And now what are they going to do? How do they get out of this? So they consult with, okay, the name of this is, who is it?
Yes, I've got this down as the tale of Harun al-Rashid and the slave girl and the Imam Abu Yusuf.
Abu Yusuf, right.
So yes. I think they have to wake Abu Yusuf up.
Yes, to get them out of this mess.
He thinks, I'm only woken up if it's an absolute emergency.
Right.
So he's summoned to the court. He goes there. They're both still half cut.
Yeah.
And they say, right, we've both made these promises.
Yes.
And instead of just de-escalating, we actually want you to come up with a theological way around this.
Yes.
So that we don't have to, neither of us have to divorce our wives.
Right.
Because how on earth am I going to explain this?
Right. Although these guys can do whatever they want, right?
Yeah. But in this case, that includes twisting
yes.
the law into so many ways.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, I interrupted you. I mean, you want to?
Well, so Abu Yusuf's wise solution to this is, all right, you, Harun al-Rashid, you buy half of the slave girl from Jafar, and Jafar, you give half of the other half to Harun al-Rashid, and then this will satisfy everything. No one has to get divorced. The caliph still gets the slave girl, so I mean he gets the better part of the deal, but okay, right? So you'd figure this would settle things and everyone would be okay with it. But no, Harun al-Rashid is not satisfied because he wants to immediately, no way around it, he immediately wants to have sex with his new slave girl. But he cannot because she's not been ritually cleansed or something like that. And this upsets him so much that they call on Abu Yusuf to consult, and he says, well, here's what you do. You get one of your mamluks, and a mamluk is a soldier who's also a slave. Get one of your mamluks who have not freed and marry her to the mamluk, and then have him immediately divorce her. And then, so since she's been divorced before the marriage was consummated, you will be able to then have sex with her.
Because that bypasses the period of time. Yeah. I think we touched on something like this in the last bunch of stories.
Yeah.
There's got some very odd rules
yes.
about divorce and marriage.
Right.
And then that goes wrong.
Yes, of course it goes. Can you believe the day that Harun al-Rashid is having, right? Nothing's going right. So he does this. He gets this mamluk, and he basically gives the slave girl to him, and they're wed to each other. And he the and then they say to the mamluk, "Okay, now you have to divorce her." And he says, "Well, I don't want to." And they offer him 100 dirhams and 1,000 dirhams and 10,000 dirhams, and he still says, no, I would prefer not to. Right. So Abu Yusuf again has to get them out of this fix, and he says, "Well, look, this is what you do. Harun al-Rashid, this mamluk is still your property, so you give her to the slave girl, and that will annul their marriage because she can't be married to someone who is her property." And apparently they have to also ask the slave girl, "Will you accept this mamluk, your husband, as your property?" And she says, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." So they do that. The marriage is annulled. Harun al-Rashid gets to have sex with his slave, and everyone's happy. This is the
you say everyone's happy. Harun al-Rashid's happy, and
yes.
Isn't that what this is all about?
I suppose so. It's just crazy. And then after all that, which I mean, it's funny, but if you think of this in terms of real people, it's horrifying. But this is the sort of moral of the story. People of culture should take note of the elegance of this affair, comprising as it does excellent examples, such as that of Jafar's treatment of al-Rashid, the knowledge shown by al-Rashid, and the superior knowledge of the Qadi, Abu Yusuf. May Almighty God have mercy on all their souls. So this is a model for proper comportment, getting wasted, threatening to divorce your wives, and then coming up with all kinds of elaborate ways to get out of it. So,
rather than saying,
yes.
I mean, the pragmatic view would have been, can we just pretend last night didn't happen?
Exactly.
No one has to lose face. No one has to sell, marry, divorce, or anything. Yeah, that was an odd one, and it just ends, and it just ends on that moral, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And then we're straight into something else, and in fact, just a very sort of simple tale comes next. I mean, these ones that we started with, for me, that started with a story called City of Pillars.
Yes, right.
Which is very, very brief story.
It is.
And again, not entirely sure of the meaning of this.
I don't either. It's very weird, but also impossible. Right? There's a very wealthy king, in brief, who builds a city that takes something like 1 trillion people to actually construct it because it's so elaborate.
And uses all natural resources in the world, pretty much.
Yes, yeah. There was someone who did the math, because this was a king who had like 1,000 viziers, who had 1,000 assistants, who had 1,000 people working for them, and if you add up all those people, it is more than all the humans who have ever lived on Earth, right? Who worked on this project. Then they're going to finally move into it. And it's been some time since I read it, but there's like some kind of supernatural event happens that kills them all on the spot on their way there, and they never actually go there, except that later some people find it.
Or this guy finds it.
Yeah.
By accident. And basically, all he does is fill his bag full of jewels, which are lying around. And basically, I don't think you can ever find it again. I think it's supposed to be this sort of fantastic, fabled, mythical lost city somewhere.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is almost like it's like a Tower of Babel. It's not a real construction. It is proper sort of fantasy folklore.
Right. And I think the probably the art of that story is in the description of this fantastic city and all the things in it, and which now I've forgotten all of it because it's been a month since I read it. But there you go. And then it comes up in the story of the bag, which, because the city of columns, or the city of pillars, as you have it, is also one of the things that is said to be in the bag, right? So this incomprehensibly vast city is.
Yeah. It's a bit like Basil Fawlty describing the view outside of his hotel. What were you expecting to see? The herds of wildebeest on the Serengeti, the hanging gardens of Babylon. Everything is in this bag.
That's right. So yeah, and then I don't know that we probably could not go through the entire series of stories because they come very quickly at this point, right?
Yeah, I have one called next one's Isaac of Mosul,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know, that left me a little bit nonplussed. This is the one with the baskets that are lowered, and he gets in the basket, and there's a lady at the top who entertains him. So he goes away and he gets the caliph to it's caliph or whoever the governor is to join him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, that was a bit of a nothing.
Yes, that's true.
But then that's followed up by the sweep. Mine's called The Sweep and the Noble Lady. I don't know what it is.
It's the slaughterhouse cleaner and the lady in mine. Yes.
Yeah. I thought when I read sweep, I was thinking, sort of chimney sweep. But yeah,
sure,
it's worse than that. He sweeps blood and offal.
Yes. Yes, he did.
But it's about this poor guy who really thinks his luck's in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's basically, you can see this oncoming procession of people, and he's just finished his shift for the day. And he has been in the slaughterhouse. He is begrimed. He is stinking, and he's told that, oh no, these people are going to kill everyone in their way. You best keep out of their way. It's like a very sort of well-to-do lady and her entourage coming down the alley.
Mm-hmm.
So he tries to get out of the way, can't get out of the way, but she basically takes him into the entourage and takes him home.
Yeah.
And I mean, he really thinks he's got it made. And she said, and at the end of their night of passion, she gives him a purse of money and says, come back again tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it for the next, several nights. And at the same time, he's secreting this money away. So he's actually, he's thinking he's absolutely got it made.
Right.
And then I think it's on the 7th or the 8th night, he goes back again. He's told to hide himself away, secrete himself away in this closet, which he does. And this woman's husband comes back. And it transpires that the husband has been playing away, and she has decided to get her own back on him, and decided that she would do that by sleeping with the dirtiest man in Baghdad. And it's like, this is how he finds out.
Yeah.
But it ends with him, by this point he's gone through his ablutions. He goes through his ablutions every night. She isn't going to go near him when he's still, in his work clothes.
Right. Yeah.
So he's got himself new threads. He's got himself a load of money, and he's just there wishing, that the husband goes away and commits adultery again.
Yeah.
It's an odd one, but it is quite a funny story.
Yeah.
But it's odd because these stories are sort of profane and then cheek by jowl with something that is pretending to be very moral, something which will be extolling Islamic virtues in one sentence and showing people drinking the next.
Yeah.
It's like all life is here.
Yeah.
And I wonder, it makes me wonder sort of like how sort of cosmopolitan are the cultures at this time in Baghdad. Certainly the people.
Right.
It's a very cosmopolitan city because they have drawn scholars from all over. the known world, or certainly in the caliphate.
Yep.
Although in the stories we see, and as you said, the Christians and the Jews are very much looked down upon, but they are suffered to exist. They can stay. I think they have to pay some kind of tax. At the time, they had to pay some kind of tax to, if they were not of the book. Basically, you could be monotheistic, a monotheistic God worshipper. Basically, same God, different text. You had to pay some money if you weren't a Muslim, but you weren't forced to convert.
Right.
But at the same time, you are absolutely second-class citizens. You are not, you can make money as a merchant, you can own property, which, to be honest, is a lot more enlightened than, 700-800 years after this in Europe.
Yeah.
But, you're not going to get a position of civic, judicial, or certainly religious power.
Right.
You can't open a church. You can't open a synagogue. But at the same time, they're a bit more free and easy.
Yeah.
Which is actually it's quite heartening sometimes reading that. But at the same time, they've got to be on their best behaviour. Because 1 foot wrong and,
the judgment will be harsh. Yes. Yeah. Quite. Yeah. Exactly. Then we had the story of Harun al-Rashid and the second caliph, which you related the guy on the boat, and we had Ali the Persian, which we discussed.
Yeah, and then the tale of the slave girl and the imam.
Girl. Okay, yeah. So we made our way through a bunch of these. I don't remember this one. Khalid ibn.
This one for me is called The Tale of the Lover Who Feigned Himself a Thief.
Okay. Right. Well.
And I mean, that was again very short and fairly self-explanatory. I think he does. He pretends. Basically, he's been caught. So he is seeing a married woman. They think they're alone. People come back to the house. So to get away from being caught, she pretends she's asleep. He pretends he's burgling the place.
Okay. Right.
And basically is then caught as a burglar and about to be executed as a burglar. But he won't say anything because he wants to protect her name.
Right.
But she comes clean to save his neck. Possibly this is one that I had in my one that you didn't.
Well, no, I have the story. I've just forgotten it. It's a bit like the story of the song "Long Black Veil," except that she owns up, so the guy doesn't have to be executed, I suppose.
But we get a big execution in the next one.
Yes.
So Harun al-Rashid has Jafar executed.
Yes.
This is Jafar the Barmecide, or I mean, I've got Barmecide in here. But
yeah, that's how it's written in
Barmakid. But Barmakid is the family. So Jafar the Barmecide and the bean seller.
Yes. Yeah, and so you go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I mean, this story really does encapsulate how fickle the justice is when it all resides in this one person.
Yeah,
because the caliph has lots of wazirs, viziers, governors, and he can at any point have any of them killed, confiscate all of their property,
Yep.
basically ruin the family forevermore.
Yep.
Each of these governors and viziers has all of his underlings, and he can do exactly the same to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hierarchical and very, very binary. And this story is so binary.
Yeah.
You hang around the caliph long, you are going to end up immensely wealthy or 18 inches shorter.
Yes.
Yeah. And both things happen here.
Mm-hmm.
So Jafar is killed.
He's already dead. At the start of the tale. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the one that what I have is it starts as, I don't have the page, but it just says, when Harun al-Rashid crucified Jafar the Barmecide, he gave orders that anyone who mourned for him or lamented him would share his fate, and as a result, people refrained from doing this. So it's already happened. It's like, how Jafar got crucified. It's like,
is like, you are not even allowed to be upset about this.
Right.
I mean, that must be difficult for, his immediate family.
Yeah. But I mean, if you didn't know that, presumably everyone hearing these stories would know that this eventually happened, even though they're having all these larks and going out in disguise and trading wives back and forth. It's
yeah. But this is, but it's not the end.
No, that's just the first
stories work. But
that's just the first sentence. Yes. So,
and then there was this person who, the bean seller. I mean, you think you're thinking here, must be talking about mountains of beans, whole crops of beans. No, it's like one bean,
right?
And he gets like loads of money for this all I have is this, he's saying, and then it's like, well, cut the bean in half, and we'll give you all this money for this half. But I can't really remember why that happened.
What happens?
Still reading from the Jafar shop,
right. Well, there's a Bedouin who would visit Jafar once a year and read him a poem. And he doesn't know that any of this has happened. So he arrives in Baghdad and hears about it. And he goes to, I think, Jafar's tomb, and he kind of weeps a little bit, and he recites the poem. And people are like, you better not let anyone see you doing that because you'll get in trouble. And he's visited by the ghost of Jafar, who tells him, thanks for visiting me and reading this poem. Go to Basra and find this bean seller. And so they had this thing. The Bedouin would read a poem to Jafar, and Jafar would give him 1,000 dirhams. So Jafar is now dead. He's this Bedouin has written a poem and he's got no money for it. Can you imagine writing a whole poem and not getting paid anything for it? So
can you imagine that's all you do?
Right. Yes.
I mean, if you're a procrastinator, this is terrible.
That's true.
The night before, I haven't written my poem.
Crap. Right.
If I don't get the poem to Baghdad tomorrow,
he goes down
the family
Basra.
Don't eat.
That's right. So he goes down to Basra. He finds this bean seller, and he tells him this poem, and he says, "Yeah, the ghost of Jafar told me to come here." And he says, "You know what? I'm going to give you 1,000 dirham for that poem." And I think he gives him like even more money, and he says, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1,000 dirham every year, and he doesn't even have to come and read a poem to him."
And this is because Jafar has done him a good turn,
right? So the Bedouin says, "How did you get to be so well-to-do that you can dispense all this largesse?" And he says, "Well, I used to be friends with Jafar, and this is what happened with us one time. Now I don't remember exactly the setup for how he came to be selling these beans, but he started out very poor, and Jafar was having a drinking party or a gathering of some kind, and this guy was selling beans outside, and everyone who bought a cup of beans from him filled the cup with gold. until he had sold all these beans, but he had one bean left. And Jafar said to the bean seller, cut that bean in half. And brought his concubine over and said to her, how much would you pay for that half of that bean? And she says, I would pay twice as much as the gold that's already been paid for all the other beans. And so Jafar gives him that much gold. And then Jafar says, for that last half of a bean, I will pay twice as much as you already have. So this is a demonstration of the great generosity of Jafar, the Barmecide. So
yeah. Or a demonstration of how scarcity drives the price up.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Oh my God, we're running out of beans. Yeah.
So this must be quite a difficult one. I mean, presumably by the time this story is being written, Harun al-Rashid is also dead.
Yeah,
because they're quite critical of him in this story.
Yeah,
that he's had Jafar killed. No one's allowed to mourn Jafar, and then the rest of the story demonstrates what a great guy Jafar was.
That's right. Yeah,
and he usually is. So if you only know Jafar from the modern interpretations of the Aladdin story, he's not a villain.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The next story in my book is called Abu Muhammad the Sluggard.
Oh, yeah, Abu Muhammad Height Lazy Bones. Height as in he's called.
He's called the Lazy Bones, yeah.
So, I mean, the good news, Jafar is alive again.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Just forget all that bit happened. He's now with us. Yeah. And this story has got it all, really.
It's one of the crazy ones.
This is, like I said, it gets weird. Now, I've read a book a year or so ago called City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty.
Okay.
And I'd obviously read that before I'd read 1001 Nights, but I was looking at it going, oh, this is all a bit Arabian Nights. So seeing the City of Brass turn up, it makes you realize, well, actually quite how much that author has taken this. But this has talking monkeys, genies, snake people, I think I'm right in saying.
Yep.
And
magic talismans.
Yes. And a lazy guy.
Yep. And it's I can't remember how they get into this story at all, but I know that there is this guy who is extremely lazy and can't be bothered to even stand up.
Yeah. But he's got to earn some money, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes he does. And somehow he gets a little bit of money that he gives to a merchant captain, if I remember right, and says, go and buy me something on your trip that will make me some money.
Yeah. I mean, again, all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
I mean, he's going to China, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. So the merchant goes to China, does all his trading, and they're about to leave, and he's like, oh, right, that's lazy guy that I'm supposed to. So he rushes out last minute, like you're, buying a present at the airport, basically. It says, yeah, I guess I'll get this monkey. So they're on the boat with the monkey. And they either shipwreck or they get captured by pirates and they end up on an island.
I'm trying to remember myself now because this one is so fragmented. It's so episodic.
It's very strange. They end up on an island and all the sailors and merchants on the ship are captured by I think it says black cannibals. And they're tied up, and some of the sailors are roasted and eaten in front of the rest of them. And then the cannibals go off and leave the rest of them tied up to think about how they're probably going to be eaten the next day. And the monkey apparently has not been caught. So the monkey comes along and frees everyone. So everyone is very grateful to the monkey. I think they start giving him money at this point, the monkey. So they start giving money to this monkey in gratitude for freeing them. The cannibals have left the ship and all the trade goods on it unmolested. So they get back on the boat and they return to wherever they started. And the captain gives the monkey to Abu Muhammad the Sluggard, along with the money that the monkey earned by freeing everyone. He might have left that out and kept the money for himself and said, here's this monkey. I don't know if the monkey had started to talk by this point or not.
I don't think so. I'm just going through this now. I'm trying to... It's unfortunately, Burton isn't the best for sort of paragraph breaks. But yeah, the monkey doesn't start talking. When he does start talking, I do remember going, "Oh, wait a minute."
That's right.
When
has he been talking this whole time?
Have I missed something?
Right. That is one of the hard things about this book is sometimes something completely bizarre will just be thrown in totally matter of fact.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a bit where he starts. Yeah, I mean, so I think he actually in my version, the monkey frees one guy and then basically charges the other guys to have the monkey free them as well. So there's no camaraderie here. He's quite happy to have them sort of stay and be eaten.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Never misses a chance to, some people never miss a chance to make a buck in these stories.
That's true. That's right.
I'm just trying to find a bit where the monkey starts talking. There's some poetry. There's quite a lot of poetry in all of these as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I might have to give up because I'm not finding.
But anyway, the captain brings him the monkey, and all the money that it earned, and Abu Muhammad shows his mother, who had been telling him, you've got to start making something of yourself. Says, "Well, I told you I was looking for a job. I got this monkey." And then all the slaves arrive with all the money that the monkey had earned. So then he decides, okay, I'll stop being idle and open a shop in which the monkey. Okay, so he opens a shop. Doesn't say exactly what he sells, but the monkey hangs out with him. And then every day he would go off from early morning until noon. And then he would come back with a purse containing 1,000 dinars, which he would put down beside me before taking his seat. So he's running a store, but also this monkey goes out and gets 1,000 dinars every day from who knows where.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, what's the point of the store? I guess that's the money laundering operation. He kept on doing this for a considerable time until I had collected a large sum of money, with which I bought property and estates, planted orchards, and acquired mamluks. Okay. Okay. This is it. So one day I happened to be sitting with the monkey when suddenly he looked to the right and the left, and while I was wondering what that might mean, thought, through God's permission, he spoke with a clear voice and said, "Abu Muhammad." When I heard him speak, I was terrified, but he told me, "Don't be afraid, and I shall tell you about myself." So this is where the monkey starts to talk. And the monkey tells him that he is not actually a monkey. He is a marid of the jinn. I don't know how Burton has it.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, he is a genie.
Right. I came to you because you were so poor. Well, now you don't even know how much money you have. I now need you for something which will be to your advantage. So this is completely bonkers.
Yeah. And
that's not how it happened at all. That's not what happened.
And you know when a genie says, trust me, this is absolutely
right.
If your spidey senses aren't tingling at that, I don't know. But yeah, he's not. Lazy Bones isn't the brightest spark.
No.
He gets some bad advice from the genie monkey.
Yes. Well, so he tells him. I mean, obviously, this monkey has gotten him a lot of money, so he wants to pay him back, I guess. But I did think that was pretty funny. The monkey going, "Hey, listen.
Here's a tip."
So the monkey tells him that you have to marry this particular young girl, the daughter of a sharif. And he says, "Okay, I'll do that." And gets dressed up, goes off, and finds this young woman in the sharif, and the sharif initially is not impressed by Abu Muhammad, the lazy bones, but he says that, but money is an excellent reputation. So since she has a bunch of money, you can marry my daughter. And he tells the monkey what happened, and he congratulated me. So he said to me, I want you to do something else for me, and if you do, then you can have whatever you want from me. I asked him what this was, and he told me. And the monkey has intimate knowledge of the inside of the sheriff's house. He says, at the top end of the room in which you will sleep with the sheriff's daughter, there is a cupboard whose door is fastened with a brass ring. The keys are under the ring. Take them and open the door, and you will find an iron chest. 4 corners are 4 talismans. So he tells him all this stuff, and there's a basin with a white cock tied up inside, and a knife.
Candles around it. Is that right?
What's that?
I think there's candles around it as well, or it's basically some sort of secret seal, isn't it?
Yes. Take this knife and cut the cock's throat, then cut the flags in pieces and overturn the chest. After that, you can come out and deflower your bride. This is what I want you to do. And Muhammad says, to hear is to obey. So he does exactly what the monkey tells him to do. And the bride wakes up and is quite alarmed. And then the Marid of Jinn / monkey swoops in and carries her off. So all that stuff.
There's been a lot of lead up to this.
Yes.
And then Lazy Bones go, oh, right. I'm an idiot. The father comes in and says, yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's hidden away in a secret chest and there are seals and, you know, it's obviously something magical, leave it be. Don't pay attention. Who told you to do this? And he tell you, oh, yeah, it's a talking monkey. Yeah, I mean, this story was like the height of oddness for this particular batch, but you have to think that there are a bunch of people just sort of egging each other on writing this story. This is almost like a game of consequences.
Right, yeah.
Well, you know, what happens next? I know what happens next. All right, you know, they'll come up with something else, and then you know, a whole different act. You know, for the fifth act, I think we end up in the city of brass at that point. So he goes after her, doesn't he?
Well, first there's the snakes.
The snakes, yes.
So he's walking along after this, and he sees a black snake attacked by or a white snake being attacked by a black snake, and he picks up a rock and he kills the black snake.
Yeah.
And the white snake slithers off and then comes back with other white snakes who all eat the pieces of the black snake. And one of them says to him, "Hey, guess what? We're also jinn, and thanks for saving me from that black snake." I forget what happens next. Somehow he ends up flying.
He goes somewhere else, and then there's another snake there that says, "Oh, we're a big family of the magic snakes. I've heard of your fame precedes you."
Yes.
And I think he's probably obviously less weirded out by talking snakes, given his experience with the talking monkey.
Yeah.
And talking snakes is obviously a big thing in myth as well.
Yeah.
But these snakes are, that you got good snakes and bad snakes here.
Mm-hmm. These are the good ones.
Yeah. But then they end up showing him this city of brass, which I think is another place that's, I can't remember, is it deserted? Anyway, I think it's supposed to be in China. So again, we've left the confines of the caliphate.
Mm-hmm.
We're on those fringes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the height of fantasy from this one. I mean, considering he's called Lazy Bones, the protagonist in this particular tale is probably doing more stuff than many of the others.
That's true. Yes, from this point.
I mean, it's followed by two fairly short stories with Yahya ibn Khalid, who was Jafar's father, so part of the Abbasid ruling classes.
Mm-hmm.
And these are much more just very short, almost moral things, and basically very, very generous to Yahya bin Khalid. So these are both called the generous dealing of Yahya bin Khalid, the Barmecide, with Mansur, and the generous dealing of Yahya bin Khalid with a man who forged a letter in his name. So the one is just like how to be nice to people.
Yes.
Another one showing that crime does pay.
Yes.
If it brings disparate families together.
Mm-hmm.
But just goes to show that this guy is a bit of a soft touch.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, later in Harun al-Rashid's reign is not something that lasts. But they're a little bit thin, those stories. And then there is one, the Caliph al-Mamun and the Strange Scholar. So the Caliph al-Mamun is Harun al-Rashid's son.
Mm-hmm.
So this is after Rashid. This is the point where I think that at this point the caliphate is slowly falling apart. Anyway, there's now eternal strife and everything.
Yeah.
But this the Caliph al-Mamun and the Strange Scholar, and basically he's got a gathering, a parliament, whatever you want to call it, and this guy no one knows comes along, talks a lot of sense, and they listen to him, and that's the story.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, well done. Yeah. I mean, you can imagine everyone's sort of putting their stories into the pot for this section. It's just well, what's your one about? Well, I've got talking monkeys, I've got families with snakes, everyone's a genie. What have you got? Guy turns up, talks some sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, and that only leaves us with three more stories. I mean, go talk about the two shorter ones and then end with a longer story.
Okay.
Because I mean, the one we've got here, the loves of Jubair bin Umayyah and the Lady Badur. That's just a lot of poetry,
right? Yeah, basically, yeah.
And there is nothing. I mean, some showy poetry. I definitely see a difference here with the language that Burton is used in translating it versus the Madrasa Mathas.
Right.
I find the Madrasa Mathas is easier to read.
Right.
Because they're not writing it in archaic language. where Burton does write it in archaic language.
Right. He tried kind of intentionally archaized it.
Intentionally to make it seem old, but I mean the thing is, it's like the language that he's using is very much sort of late 16th, 17th century English, which is just is entirely the wrong period of time. But anyway, yeah, so that one is largely poetry, and then the last one is almost like a rap battle. So I've got a man of Al Yaman and his 6 slave girls.
Right.
So he's got these 6 slave girls. There's a skinny one, there's a fat one, and there's a blonde and there's a brunette, and basically he pairs them off against each other, and they
insult each other.
Insult each other and extol your own virtues.
Yep.
And again, there doesn't seem to be a moral to this one.
Not really.
That just ended with, "Well done, girls."
Right. Let's just have a bunch of poetry.
You probably all hate each other now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably lots of simmering resentments. I'm glad we've got it all out.
Right.
And you can go back to being slaves.
Right.
But that leaves us with Ali Shah and Zumurrud.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the longest one.
Yeah.
So Ali Shah loses both his parents.
Yes. Very sad.
And his father has given him some fatherly advice, some very odd fatherly advice just before his passing. Basically, keep yourself solitary. Don't talk to anybody. Don't have any fun.
Right.
and for a year he sticks to that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets tempted by people.
Right.
And too late, learns his lesson, finds himself destitute, having been wealthy. He's frittered all his money away. Nobody who he's been generous with wants to know him.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he now is solitary again, but not by choice.
Nobody knows you when you're down and out, as they say.
Yes. I mean, I just read Timon of Athens last month.
That guy goes on a great length about it. Yes.
However, he's a bit of a looker, is Ali Shah, and he's walking along. He hasn't eaten. He's trying to find the wherewithal just to get a bit of breakfast, but he sees a slave auction happening, and the slave being auctioned is Zumurrud.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bit of a catch. People are bidding lots of money for her, but she seems to have the choice of who actually gets to have her.
Not standard, I don't think.
No. But basically, no, this one's too old. This one's dyeing his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you can find fault with all of them, and then the slave owners go, "Well, look, who do you want?" And she picks Ali Shah. Yeah. And okay, Ali Shah, what do you want to bid for her? And he's just like, I've got nothing. I would absolutely love to own slaves.
Yes.
But
in this economy,
so Zumurrud takes him aside, gives him money, and says, bid this.
Yes. It's very. Yeah.
I don't get how it works, but basically, they end up together.
Yes,
and she has this wonderful skill of making curtains,
embroidery. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically, with the little money they've got left that he hasn't spent in buying her money that he hasn't spent in buying her, they set up home. He goes out. He buys some material. He buys thread and needle, and every week or every 6 weeks, whatever it is, she produces these curtains, and they can, they make a living, and they do this for a year. But she says to him every time, only go and sell it to the merchant. Don't sell it to anybody else. Just to this merchant, and he does that.
Yep. Until
someone starts offering him lots of money, and we have naughty Christians,
right?
And naughty Christians, some of whom are pretending to be good Muslims.
Yeah.
And basically exploits like the laws of hospitality. Having bought the curtains from him, the Christian knows who's made the curtains. It's one of the people who wasn't able to bid.
Right. Was trying to purchase the moon.
And this is his way in.
Right.
Basically. Gets him. Well, I was going to say gets him drunk. It doesn't get him drunk. It's like hashish and opium, I think.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Basically, zonks him out, kidnaps Zumurrud, absconds.
Yep.
Later, he wakes up alone in the house, goes out, recites some emergency poetry.
Yes.
And this woman sort of like tells him basically what's happened.
Yeah.
So she's been kidnapped and then re-kidnapped again, I think.
I think that's right. Yes, by some thieves.
And there are 40 thieves, and I thought, oh, here we go, Alibaba. Yeah. Doesn't happen.
No, not quite.
Different 40 thieves. Right. These guys are bad.
Yeah.
Not the other 40 thieves. Who are
the others were also bad, but yeah.
She escapes them again from an old woman helps one of the thieves' mothers, basically helps her, and she does what anyone does in this situation: dress up as a man and pass yourself off as a prince in the next city you come to, who the town, the city, just happened to have lost their ruler,
right,
and have a prophecy that the next prince that arrives is going to be the ruler of the city.
Yes.
So
no basis for a system of government, but there you go.
No, I mean, she's having a roller coaster of a day.
Yes.
But she ends up. Yeah, she starts off as the female freed slave curtain maker, happily married, to being, prince of a far-flung city,
right,
and now masquerading as a guy.
Yes.
And all the people that have done her dirty turn up at this city every now and again. Yeah. She proves herself to be an exemplary ruler. Time passes on. It's been a year, and she's fantastic.
Yes, people love her.
And no one rumbles that it's a woman.
Right. And she has a mandatory fun day every month.
Yes. So it's a feast day. Everyone turns up. Yes. Anyone who's new in town turns up, and you have to come, welcome dinner to the city. And that's her way of capturing everyone who comes looking for her, because the people that come looking for her are the people, all three people who have all kidnapped her.
Yes.
And she plays the same trick on all of them, which is they eat from a certain dish.
Yes.
Which everyone else knows to stay away from. So in mine, it was a dish of sweetened rice. I don't know what you have.
Yep, sweet rice.
And the punishment is, probably deserved, but a little bit on the graphic side.
Yes. If you don't know her backstory, and of course she doesn't explain it, but they get flayed alive. Ugh.
I don't know what happens. And then the body is buried and covered with all kinds of umska. And basically everyone else in these meals gets to know, don't touch the rice.
Yes. I think that originally it was after the first person was recognized and executed. It was because he was sitting in front of the rice that the people in the city couldn't figure out why she just picked this guy out of the crowd and executed him. And they're like, I guess it's that seat, the seat by the rice. And then the next person who came back sat in front of the rice because that was the available seat. Also happened to be someone who had kidnapped Zamor in a previous encounter. Got taken off and executed. So if you're like, yep, it's the rice, don't sit in front of the rice.
But all of them get told as well. I mean, well, not the first one, but the two subsequent ones get told, don't have the rice.
Yeah, that's right.
And they just ignore the advice, have the rice. She then asks them who they are. They always tell her a lie.
Yeah. And
she always pretends to uncover the lie. Now, she knows it's a lie because she knows who they are.
Right.
But then Ali Shah turns up.
Yes.
And the same thing happens to him.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's never been the brightest spark, he also doesn't. I mean, he's made a habit of not listening to advice. He doesn't pay attention to his father. He doesn't pay attention to Zumrud. And he doesn't pay attention to the people who say to him, "Don't eat that. You're going to be executed."
Yeah.
He eats it. But then she asks him the question, and he tells the truth.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, you're telling the truth. Come and see me."
Yeah.
And
echoes of another story.
Very much.
Yeah.
From the longer story that we had last time. She basically, as a man, seduces Ali Shah as a man.
Yeah.
Who then finds out that he says, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. And then realizes he's in real trouble if he doesn't give way.
Reluctantly is like, well, all right.
Finds out it's a woman, which makes it all okay. They then get interrupted by some people of the court who go, oh. And, I mean, they really do. I mean, in all the way through this series of tales, they know how to do their gender reveal parties.
Yeah.
And they wait till they're adults.
Right.
And then that's the end of that story. It's like they live happily ever after, pretty much.
Well, she gives up being the ruler of the city and goes back with Ali Shah. Seems like a step down, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose at that point you're lucky that you're getting away with your life because you've been masquerading as a man running the city for the best part of the year.
Right. Yeah. You'd think they might be grateful that she did a good job, but probably not.
Well, no. This is back to the Archbishop of Canterbury, aren't we? You know,
right.
First woman to get the job. She best be doing well.
Right. Yeah. So overall, I mean, I really enjoyed these stories. This was a fantastic run of short little oddities, and then the longer ones, none of them really. I think some of the longer ones we've had before at times would outstay their welcome, if you know what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. They'd have one chapter too much.
Yeah.
Or something happens one time too many.
Right.
Here, it's not really getting the chance. And then the longer stories, it's just like very different things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. A guy comes along and talks some sense.
Or a monkey. We don't know.
Or a monkey. Yeah. So.
But, yeah, so that was 278 to 336. Next time, 337 to 416. So it's shorter nights.
Yeah.
And
shorter stories.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the two different translations and see if I can segue back in.
Okay.
To Madras and Math, because I have been wanting to read these. It's because I've had these physical copies for years and years and years.
I totally understand. Yeah, of course.
I do actually want to read them, but I mean, I'm quite happy to sort of be reading both. And I suppose if I come across a story that I've read in one, I can just skip it in the other one.
Right.
Quick look at stuff. But it'd be nice to get to the physical books because they're easier to flick through when we're doing something like this.
Certainly, yes. Are the knights numbered in the Martyrs and Mothers?
Yes.
Okay.
And the tales are named as well.
Right.
But some of them have slightly different names.
Sure.
I had a look, and some of them have turned up, but I think I'm now out of whack on the nights.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll see if it dovetails again. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have enjoyed it.
Yes.
And by the time we have the next one, we'll be sort of really powering through.
Yes, that's true. Since it's just the two of us, we're not really bound by Sean D. Standfast's original. If we wanted to increase our intake and read a few more to.
Yeah, because we are now sort of behind as well on the month, so we might have to play a bit of catch up.
Yeah. So
and
we'll
then
discuss that.
Then at Christmas we can maybe have a look at the
Alibaba. Yeah.
Alibaba.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll look forward to that.
Yes.
If I don't have it in one version, I'll definitely got it in the other. But
I think we have the Abu Nuwas stories are coming up in this next batch. Who is he's a poet who has some dealings with Harun al-Rashid. So I had floated the idea of inviting David Novak because he had read these a few years ago. He was quite interested in the Abu Nuwas story. So maybe perhaps we'll have a guest next time.
Excellent.
Yes.
No, it'd be interesting to get sort of like other perspectives on it as well, because someone who might know more about it than we do.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm looking at these stories going,
Don't know what I missed.
Have I missed something?
Yeah.
Was there a point to that story?
Well, and that's one of the things that's fun about going over these with you is that, sometimes you just need to talk to someone else and say, this didn't make sense, did it? And then Gavin will say, no, it didn't make sense.
And we could both be wrong.
Yeah, we very well could. We very well.
But no one's told us what the meaning is yet. No. I mean, I think some of it, obviously we're missing some of the cultural implications, some of the historical implications, some of the morals and the points, and some of the sophistry.
Yeah.
But other times, like Freud said, sometimes a talking monkey is just a talking monkey.
Exactly. But so
there we go. Until next time, and
we have no comments.
We'll put something in November.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We're still alive.
We're still alive, yeah.
We're still alive. All right, time for my dog.